All right, what's up? So I just did a pretty intense leg day as well as a full hour soccer in the last 24 hours. So I'm going to show you what I do to loosen my body up specifically around the pelvic area, the lower back, the hip flexors, because those tend to get tight from those activities. Plus, you add some sitting into that shit. It's time to unwind. So I'm going to show you the stuff that I do. Follow along. I'll give you modifications. I hope that you can see everything. You might not be able to. We're working with a still camera here, but let's just work with it. So take a look. You don't need anything except a wall and a mat. You might not even need a mat, but I recommend a mat or at least a carpet. We're going to start first by just stretching out the quadriceps. I'm going to have you grab onto the foot, good old classic quad stretch. As you can see from the side, I want to align my thighs and then get upright. I'm going to use the wall as balance. Some things I'm going to hold. Some movements I'll move inside of them. What I do regardless, though, is keep my breath as if I was just sitting down. Because I find that if I can keep my breath calm, then my muscles have a chance to go back to their normal state. Switch it up. And throughout the period, I'm analyzing my own body. I'm thinking about where I'm keeping my weight, where my bones are. Like if I look down, is this leg aligned with the other one? Is it out to the side? And so I'm usually making little adjustments. While it might look like I'm holding myself still, I could be right now, which I am, thinking about tucking my pelvis, like squeezing my glutes. Go back to side one. And this is this kind of stuff that I do on a weekly basis. Sometimes in the morning, sometimes at night. Sometimes I'll go too long without doing it and feel really stiff. Sometimes I'll be a little bit more regimented about it. Life ain't fucking perfect. So you do what you can do. Good. Change up. Continue to keep the glutes a little bit tightened. And then I like to think about bringing my head up and back. As a guy who sits now on a computer and someone that has wrestled a lot of their life, I'm used to having my head forward like this. So this gives me an opportunity to bring myself back into alignment. And that's what we're really doing here. We're going to go a little bit higher up now and work on the hip flexors. Still work on the quads, but you're going to want to have something soft underneath your knee. Now take a look. I am going to put my knee up against the wall. If you've never done this before, it's called a couch stretch. Don't put your knee up against the wall. Put your knee about 18 inches away from the wall. I've seen people try to jump into this. And if you find that it catches your breath right off the bat, you brought your knee in too close to the wall. So take a look. I got about a 90-degree angle in this front leg. And then my sit bone, which is my butt bone, is right to the inside of my right heel. And now what I'm looking to do is get a little more upright and still keep that pelvic tuck, as if you were tucking your tail underneath in between your legs. Okay? We're going to do some forward movement now, forward and down, by drawing the hips towards this front foot and then back up to the top. You'll notice your level kind of lowers down as you go forward, and then your level goes up as you reset up to the top. Do about 2 more. And you'll notice that your range of motion will probably increase as the reps go by. Switch up. Find your alignment. Let's get into it. This stuff isn't supposed to be comfortable. Sometimes it will feel good. Other times, like this, it might not feel fantastic. That's okay. Continue to work on your range of motion. Continue to tuck your pelvis. I find that with this, I can even go back further as the reps go by, as well as move forward and down more. 1 more. Good. And it's not exciting stuff, but it's the stuff combined with weight training that allows me to go hard, very hard, and not really get hurt. First side. Now I'm going to stay up at the top. Raise my arms up. I'm going to look up. I'm going to reach back. Lower the arms to the sides. Undo. Not easy. Not easy. Last side. We'll do one more. Stay up at the top. Reach out to the side and up. Look up. And then reach back an inch. Lower the arms to the sides. Come on out. We're going to keep working on the shoulders. I'm going to sit Indian style. If you take a look at my knees, they're resting. If your knees are up here, pause the video, go put something underneath your butt. I don't care if it's a blanket or a couple books, but we want the knees and feet to basically be touching. So take a look. This is what we're going to do. We're going to try to get vertical with our arms. I know that sitting at a desk can cause a rounding of the shoulders, and so this is the kind of work that opens up that shoulder girdle and keeps us where we want to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clasp my fingers. I'm going to clasp them so that my right index finger is on top of my left. I'm going to turn my palms out, and then I'm going to go up with my arms. Now, if you can go to just here, that's fine. If you can go vertical without your chest projecting outward, basically, if you can go upward keeping a neutral spine, that's cool. But I don't really want you to bow your chest. So find your range and then just keep the shoulders depressed, not elevated. And I'm basically turning my palms upward towards the ceiling. And I'm bringing my head up and back. Then I'll lower my hands. Then change it up. Left finger's on top of the right. Then I'll go up again. And lower down. We're going to do a gentle spine twist. Put your left hand on top of your right knee. Place your right fingertips directly behind you. Get tall. And then rotate to the right. Keeping equal weight on both sit bones. Those are your butt bones. Now the cool part is that you can make progress within a good 30-minute time frame. Watch. Take an inhale and then draw the navel a little bit towards the spine. Exhale, rotate a little bit more. Try it again. Inhale. Exhale. And then unwind. One of the things I love about this kind of work is that it just calms my nervous system down. Eases my mental stress, relaxes my body. Let's hit up the other side. You know, in a world where it's go, 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 it's not easy to sit down and do this kind of work. But I believe it's some of the best stuff you can do. Big inhale. And then exhale, rotate. Good stuff. If one leg is crossed in front of the other, switch it up. Do another shoulder mobility exercise. So take your right arm, bring it up, and then reach the hand behind the back. Then bring the left arm from underneath and bring the hands as close as you can to one another. I think that this is probably the story that I have told more than any other story. And I'll just tell it again because it's relevant. When I first learned this movement, I was able to touch these hands together the first time I did it. I can still do it right now, easily. It took me 2 years to do the other side. I was doing yoga twice a week, but I had an old rotator cuff injury from wrestling. And so maybe there was some scar tissue. There's definitely lack of strength. Release. Straighten the arms away from one another, lower down. Let's see where we're at today. It's been a while since I've done this one. Nope, can't touch. Fingers are touching. But it's not that big a deal. Straighten the arms away from one another, lower down. And do a little downward dog. So what is most important here is keeping your spine relatively straight. And so for me, I'm going to take up about 3/4 of this mat. My hands and feet are going to be, I would say, a good 3 feet away from one another, shoulders width apart. And I'm going to drive my butt backing up towards the wall behind me with my arms straightened, fingers flared out, but fingertips gripping the floor. And this is good, but it's even better to move within this and to get some fluidity in the spine. So why don't we try this out? Why don't we go from this position to like a push-up position? You're in a downward dog. And now I'm going to push up. I'm going to go back to a downward dog. And this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it a little sexy. I'm going to tuck my pelvis. I'm going to round my upper back. And then ultimately find my push-up position. So there's a little bit more movement in the spine in that, as opposed to just taking my hips and drawing them downward a couple inches. So go back to the downward dog. Let's try that again. I'm going to tuck my pelvis. I'm going to almost go into like a hunchback until my shoulders are over my hands. Then I'm going to come out to that neutral spot. Let's go 2 more times. Tuck, round. One more. Lower to the knees. Drop back into child's pose, which is where your butt is sitting towards your heels. Now from all fours, let's do something similar. Let's start from the tailbone. Think about lifting each vertebra towards the ceiling. So the tailbone, sacrum, lower back, mid back, upper back. We'll keep the head down. And then let's go in reverse. We're actually going to lift the head up first Drop the upper back, mid back, lower back, tailbone towards the floor. So it's just a cat-cow, all right? So go into your cat. And then cow. And then cat. And cow. One more. And then cow. I don't know why this is a cow, but whatever. I'm going to sit on my butt. And one of my favorite things to do is to do what's called a plow, which is where my butt is off the ground and I'm stacking it over my shoulders. So what you can do is do something like that. I'll show it again. You roll back. If you've never done it before, it's not going to be easy, but that's fine. I'm going to keep my hands on my lower back here. And now I'm going to straighten out my legs. I'm just going to look at my feet. I'm going to make little circles with my feet. I'm going the other direction. Good. Now I'm going to put my hands on the floor, slowly roll out of it. I'm going to hug my knees into my chest, my feet lifted. I'm going to roll. Take a look at this one. Roll into just my shoulders. And back up. Two more. Good. I'm going to have you stand up. We're going to separate the feet about 4 feet apart. 3.5, 4 feet. I'm going to get some rotation in. So take a look. I'm going to take my left foot. I'm going to turn it outward. Turn my right foot in. And then from here, arms out to the side. And then I'm going to rotate towards that left leg. I'm going to hold here. I'm going to bring my arms up and look in between my hands. Keeping that rotation. Lower the arms to the side. Just simply rotate turn the feet. Right, left foot is slightly in, right foot's turned out. Arms out to the side. Rotate. Look up. Lower down. Nice. Step together. Now take a look at your feet. We're almost finished. Connecting with your feet is a good thing to do, specifically your toes. So what I want you to focus on now is doing big toe taps. You're going to try to keep all 4 of your other toes on the floor. Lift up just your big toe and then tap it on the floor. I'll give you about a minute. Now keep the big toes on the ground. Lift up just the 4 other toes. And now alternate. Big toes, all 4s. Good. I think I want to end there. It was good. We did some stuff sitting, on our back, standing. These are just some of the movements that I like to do in order to loosen up all this. So I hope it was beneficial. Feel free to let me know how it went for you, what you liked, what was too much, what you are excited to work on. All right? See you soon. Keep stretching.